mulled wine. Hi, welcome to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. My name is Sonika, and since it's Christmas time and Christmas is just around the corner, we're going to make a very interesting Christmas recipe. So let's make mulled wine today. Port wine, apple, candied orange segments, brown sugar, cinnamon, cloves, star anise. Okay, so to start with the recipe, I'm going to empty a bottle of red wine into this pan. I'm going to go ahead and pour in the whole bottle. Now to this, we're going to add in all the other ingredients. We'll start with the spices. I'm going to add the cinnamon sticks in. I like cinnamon a lot, so I'm using a lot of it. I'm going to add a couple of pieces of cloves, around 3 to 4 cloves. And I'm going to add a few pieces of star anise. So to this, we're also going to add the candied orange peels because it imparts a great amount of flavor to this. You'll actually be surprised by how tasty this is. In case if you don't get these candied orange peels, you can also use fresh orange segments. So I've added a couple of peels of orange. Now we'll go in and add the sugar. I'm using brown sugar, say around 2 to 2.5 spoons. Now let's just lightly mix this to ensure that the sugar is melting. Along with this, I'm also going to add an apple. We're going to chop the apple. We don't need to be very careful about how the apple is being chopped. You can just roughly chop the apple because we're going to strain out all these ingredients anyways. I'm using around half an apple for a bottle of wine. Now I'm going to also finely chop a few pieces of the apple because we're going to add it to the bottom of the glass before we pour the wine in. I guess this should be enough, so we'll just keep these aside. So mulled wine is one of those really amazing winter drinks which you can have. It's supposed to be served warm, and what you can do is you can keep a pot of the mulled wine on simmer, and as and when your guests come in for New Year and Christmas parties, you can just pour it out into a glass and there you have a beverage ready. Okay, so now that we've added all our ingredients into the pot, we're just going to let it boil for around 5 to 10 minutes, and the idea behind it is to make sure all the ingredients that we've added, the spices, the apples and the orange citrus peel, all the flavors should infuse together and it should be like one homogeneous flavor. So yeah, we're just going to let it boil and simmer. So a pot of mulled wine has been boiling for around 5 to 10 minutes. It's completely ready now. I've also turned off the flame. What we'll do is that we're going to plate it. For that, I'm going to add these pieces of apple that I cut earlier. I'm going to place them on the bottom of the glass. You could either strain this out and then directly just pour it into a glass, or you could use a ladle and avoid the spices and the candied peel and the apple, basically all these solid elements in the wine. I'm going to go ahead with the ladling method. They say wine is really good for health. I'm not really sure about the health aspect, but this is really tasty. So that is probably one incentive why you should really try out this recipe. So I'm done with pouring all of my wine into this glass. So I've poured in all of our wine into the glass. The fruits that are left behind, you could use them for any of your other dessert preparations. You don't need to really waste them. You could also eat them just like that. But let's keep those fruits aside and talk about our wine. So here it is, a glass of warm, comforting mulled wine, a perfect recipe for a cold Christmas winter night. I hope you enjoy it.